Welcome into the PHNX Suns VIP Lounge. This one was fun.
It was fun.
This one was really fun.
Anytime you can kick their ass, and I mean James Harden and Kevin Durant. I want to throw Kyrie Irving in there, but obviously he didn't play. It's always a good thing.
Can we pump the brakes on the ass kicking?
We kicked their ass.
That last 6 minutes was ass clenching, all right?
Listen, we kicked their ass, and then the last 6 minutes, these fucking flukes wanted to actually try to play hard, and they scrambled, and the Suns had already taken their foot off the gas. Big diff. I don't care. If they played 48 straight minutes, the Suns would win by 25 again. I don't give a shit. Go Suns.
The Phoenix Suns defeated the Brooklyn Nets 113-107. And of course, we are brought to you by our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Espo, would you like to say something about your initial thoughts on this game?
Yeah,
because I cut you off.
That last 6 minutes was like doing Kegels. Like you just had to clench a lot because it was uncomfortable how close that got.
But let's pump the brakes on Espo's rant though, because Shane, what happened as soon as we started the third quarter? The Nets scored 6 points, the Suns had 2, and Espo was already calling for a timeout.
Call timeout, slow the run.
And then what happened?
Okay, the Suns went on a run of their own.
They didn't need to call a timeout.
They didn't. Okay, I'm not an NBA head coach. That's why I'm sitting next to you.
He's still scorned by the Suns of the past, and I'm trying to get my man off the cliff.
I'm not on the cliff. That was more stressful than I wanted it to be in the final 6 minutes.
For sure.
But you're playing a very good team. You're playing probably the best team in the Eastern Conference, so it shouldn't necessarily be easy the full way through. So I'm not panicking.
That's how good the Suns are, though, tonight.
They've been good. They've been good for 16 straight games, my friend.
But this felt different, though, right?
It did. It felt a lot different because there were 2 times, Espo, what you're talking about late in the game, there were 2 times in this game where the Nets tried really hard to get back into it.
Yes.
Like they gave a good effort to get back into it, and the Suns each time said, nope, we're going to take this W with us. See you later.
Yeah, and interesting in the fourth, it wasn't the usual suspects that closed the door. It wasn't CP3. It wasn't Book. They struggled. It was Mikal Bridges' defense, DeAndre Ayton getting a few buckets on the block, Jay Crowder bailing Devin Booker out on an air ball to get.
It was a beautiful pass.
Yeah, sure. I'll believe that at some point maybe. But look, Jay comes through big. Again, Lindsey, you and I talked about this last night. This team finds a way to win no matter what is going on. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be the big 2 in CP3 and Book. There's a myriad of ways that they can win a game, and they proved it again tonight against the Brooklyn Nets, who had won 12 of the last 14 games, or actually 13 of their last 15 games, I believe it was.
I think the Suns, they dominated this game for the most part. There's certain things that you look at and you hope they're not trends that maybe we can nitpick. Like, for instance, Devin Booker. You've got to be better about not drawing fouls. Like, you got to stop making these nonsensical fouls and then getting upset at the refs when it, like Durant pulled up and it was clear that he hacked him on the wrist. And then he complained about it. I'm like, dude, you're not aiding your cause. Like, every time the refs blow the whistle on you from now on, they're always going to know, well, he complains about everything. I don't really care what he has to say. Instead of taking you for your word sometimes because you were actually right. You know what I'm saying?
You got to pick and choose.
And then, there's just these small little things throughout the game. DeAndre Ayton, until those last couple baskets, I was about to rip him apart tonight because I felt like he was just – you cannot get outplayed by some other dude that half of the league doesn't even know whose name is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even remember his name right now.
Bembry.
Yeah, Bembry. There you go.
DeAndre Bembry.
18-9. Come on, bro.
Look, Look,
definitely
we don't need
gave him something to worry about tonight.
I'm glad there's no DA rant because the only Wildcat on Wildcat hate is between you and I. We can't go off on DA like that in the same night, right?
We could.
We could. I think we actually have before, so never mind. Forget that.
DA should have been the difference maker tonight because you got KD and you have Harden, and then you had Booker and CP3 who, by and large, did what they needed to do. They kind of equalized each other. So who was really going to be the difference maker? Mikal stepped up, and in the second quarter and the third quarter, and actually defensively, by and large, was just tremendous. He was so good, and we'll break that down here in a little bit. But DeAndre Ayton, this was a night where against a really good team, you could have showed out, and really, I thought this was an easy night for him to have 25 plus points, but he wasn't aggressive. He played very timid. He deferred to everybody else, and it cost him.
But thankfully, Espo, like we talked about last night, this team doesn't need every single player to show up every single night to win.
It's all acting like they won 15 or lost 15 straight with DA sucking.
That's the only time I'm going to be negative.
That is fair, though.
It's true.
That's a very
you can be a little real quick before we do anything else. I want to give a shout out to Elon in the chat. Thank you for the super chat. And also, he said, well, as I predicted, Suns win by 6. So you hit the nail on the head there, Elon. Congrats on that, and thank you for the super chat.
It doesn't count unless you put it on DraftKings.
Dude's creating electric vehicles, getting sun scores right, going to space. What can't he do?
What can't he do? He's in the chat.
Apparently pay us more than $1.99 super chat.
Become a sponsor for life.
Shall we go to the bar real quick?
Yes,
Get things started here.
Let's belly up to the bar tonight. It's the Pickpocket Porter in honor of one Mikal Bridges, who I believe finished with 7 tonight. 7 steals, had 6 of which came in the first half. Pretty impressive night for Mikal.
Yeah, those first 6 tied his career high. And then the 7th one gave him a new career high. So that was pretty impressive. Should we just go ahead and go right into Mikal Bridges? Yeah. Honestly?
Mikal Bridges.
So Mikal Bridges is also our draft king of the game. No surprise there. He finished with 13.6 rebounds. And as Espo mentioned, those 7 steals. The numbers might not be huge for Mikal Bridges tonight, but he was the ultimate difference maker in this one, for sure.
Mikal's game tonight was just so beautiful from a defensive standpoint. You have to understand, KD is going to get his. But defensively, he made it very hard on KD, especially through the first 3 quarters. His body-to-body contact, knowing when to do that, knowing when to put his hands in the passing lanes, and cutting KD off in those specific lanes that he likes to get to, and just pushing him out that 1 extra foot or 2 really made a tremendous difference in the first half for the Suns. Mikal was just unbelievable. And the other thing is watch James Harden, okay? Watch James Harden when there's a missed basket or a defensive, maybe he turns the ball over. Watch James Harden's effort on getting back on defense. It's almost non-existent. Mikal Bridges, on so many different occasions, did not give up on plays and thus was able to make a steal, especially in that second quarter. JaVale McGee took on those same tendencies in the fourth quarter, especially at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Just don't give up on the play because you made an error. Keep going because you never know what could happen. And the Suns, that's what's separating the Suns from all these other teams right now, is they are doing all the little things that are necessary to win these games. And like I said, I can nitpick on some of the negative stuff, but by and large, the great little intricacies that they are perfecting right now outweigh the small little nuances, and it's just beautiful to watch.
Oh, before I give my thoughts on Mikal, something important to bring up in the chat. The mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach, just patted himself on the back for his crown placement on the Draft King of the Game image. I think he threw out his shoulder, though, so he might be slow with the mouse the rest of the
And for all of you who are listening to this podcast, he commented elite crown placement on that Draft King of the Game graphic.
You couldn't have made a fake screen name?
No, I need to give myself love sometimes.
You do. You know what, Shane? It was elite crown placement. We'll give it to you tonight.
Yeah, but Mikal just does the little thing. Brian, Walmart crown placement. Yes. I wasn't going to go there, but the Cove crazies find a way to go there all the time. Look, Mikal does all the little things that you want him to. And you say, the numbers don't look all that impressive. But, I mean, 13 points on 50% shooting, and perfect from the free throw line offensively for a guy that's spending most of his 41 minutes and most of the energy in that on the defensive end, guarding Kevin Durant and James Harden. This is another fantastic game. This is the kind of game where voters will look at it when it comes to all defensive teams and even potentially defensive player of the year and go, this is what you want a guy like that to do. And it's a bonus what he adds on the offensive end for this team as well. I mean, it took me a while to appreciate Mikal Bridges, not this year, but in the past, at the beginning of his career, because you do get kind of caught in the stat watching. You go, the numbers aren't great. But when you sit there and you just watch what he does, the defensive rotations, the way he positions himself, how he uses the length in those arms, it's masterful what he does out there on the court.
And the way he picks and chooses his shot selection and just the way he is so calculated on the offensive end, right? Like tonight, they could not stop him from getting to the rim when he chose to. And it was impressive to see that. So even though it's only 13 points, which I'm going to give 13 points is not nothing by any means. It's just, when you're used to Devin Booker 30-point night 3 nights in a row, it looks a little bit smaller on the box score comparative to things like that. But he is contributing in incredible ways, both sides.
The next evolution for Mikal Bridges is to become that third scorer for nights or for things like this down the stretch when CP3 and Devin just are not able to do what they need to do. It'd be nice for Mikal to be able to pick up a little bit of that slack. He's still learning that part of his game, and it'll come along. Hopefully it'll be by the end of this year. So that way when they get to the playoffs, they can rely on that. Because right now what you're having to rely on is DA, and DA is a little too inconsistent down low on the block when things are getting kind of haywire. When you throw the ball into DA, there's a little bit of distrust. Like, is he going to keep the seal on his defender or not? And so that's why I think, Mikal, if he can pick up a little bit of that slack, it'll help ease things for CP3 and Devin.
Look, to be fair, Mikal was the third highest scorer tonight. So,
right.
I'm just talking about down the stretch. I'm not talking about the games. I'm talking about like the last 6 minutes of the game.
Which I think is
he was put
fair
into some horrible positions. He had to chuck up a couple, double pump threes, and that's not fair to him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also because, CP3 and Devin were milking the clock all the way down to basically 5 seconds and not really giving their team an opportunity to execute down the stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Espo, you teased it a little bit. You talked about how having a game like this for Mikal Bridges on this stage is incredible for the conversation around the all-defensive team and even defensive player of the year conversations, right? Like, this was the stage for him to have a night like this to help boost that conversation. So, this will lead us into a conversation about national media. But before we get into that, do you guys want to comment at all on just your thoughts on like the fact that he hasn't really been talked about within those two awards?
No, the Suns haven't been talked about much at all, though. That's the thing. So it doesn't surprise me that Mikal, if you're not watching Suns basketball closely, isn't part of those discussions yet. This is a nice first step, but Tuesday night on TNT against the Warriors with the chance to tie the franchise record for win streak and be the number 1 seed in the West if you beat the Warriors, that's where Mikal Bridges could put his stamp on, hey, I'm for real and you should take me seriously. And the Suns as a whole can do that on Tuesday night. Tonight's nice because you play your first real test. You beat the Nets. But let's be honest, the eyes of the world were on college football today. The sports world was not paying attention to an NBA game in Brooklyn tonight. But on Tuesday night, they damn well will be because it's one of 2 national games. They're going to have the stage to themselves. And I think that's where he'll really make his mark.
20 games in. So, a lot of this stuff, a lot of people say that, the NBA season doesn't really start until January anyway, because you got football all the way until, until the playoffs and stuff. I don't agree with that because obviously we do these post games every single time, and we love hoop. But what I will say is this: it's only 20 games, so it's a little hard to start positioning people for this award or that award or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was ever a case to be made for Mikal Bridges, tonight is a good, solid contribution to that case because he was fantastic. He's been very, very good all season long. I don't know about Defensive Player of the Year yet. If he continues to play like he did tonight, absolutely. But I definitely think he should be on the all-defensive team. And I think you will see that come to fruition on Tuesday night, like Espo said, because the matchup for him is every now and then he's going to be matched up on Steph, trying to shut him down. And that's a tall task. And if he can do it, I mean, what else is there to do? He just basically defended a 7-foot Kevin Durant who could score from everywhere on the court, and then now a 6'4" Steph Curry who could also score from all over the court and never stops. And Mikal has the kind of conditioning to keep up with him for sure.
The most interesting number I think from the last 2 nights with Mikal is, let me do the quick math. It's 79.
How much time he's played in both
minutes.
games? Yeah.
He's played in back-to-back games in 2 nights, and he was key in both of those games. That he goes all out all game. And Monty trusts him to be out there every step of the freaking way. And that's just as important as points that he's putting on the court, is that you can count on him for almost 2 complete games back-to-back when you need him like that.
Yeah, I think it was 38.5 yesterday and then 41 tonight. And Kellen Olson actually asked Monty about just the kind of luxury, if you will, of having a Mikal Bridges on your team pregame. And Monty said, basically in scenarios like this, where he's going to put up big minutes and take a very heavy load defensively. And Monty just said, the reason why, in his opinion, Mikal is able to do this and be so successful at it is because he genuinely loves doing it. And I think that's a huge key for his success, because it's one thing to play defense because you have to play defense. It's another thing to love to play defense and make that your calling card. And I feel like Mikal is that.
I love the fact that Mikal and KD went at it in the second quarter. KD gave it to him they were kind of beefing a little bit. And then Mikal proceeded to basically shut KD down the next couple minutes. And I thought, and then when you take that, and then you take his interview with JJ Redick the other night.
I feel like he's got a little more oomph in him than we thought.
Right? Like, my dude's got some. He's ready to go, and he's not backing down from anyone. And I think in the early part of his career, the confidence, trying to find himself in this offense and where he stands. And I think Espo, a little bit of CP3 and Devin Booker machismo is kind of rubbing off on my guy.
Well, look, I would love to hear him walk up to a guy and go, I was ranked 83rd, right? And actually just say it, just to screw with somebody, because he seems like the kind of guy that his trash talk is probably that Reggie Miller kind of just get at you and get at you hard there. And I love this guy. I agree.
Shamil Kasim with a really cool stat, if this is true. Mikal is one of only 2 players to hold his opponent under 42% shooting and to shoot over 60%. The other one is Rudy Gobert.
67%.
67%.
Even better. Yeah, that's an awesome stat. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Shamil.
Yeah, that's a great stat for sure. Mikal's he's just such a good player. And everyone's been saying, a couple people in the chat, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter tonight saying, games like this are why by the end of the season, most likely, we're going to be talking about getting Mikal Bridges for $90 million is such a steal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I don't blame Mikal either. It's like, okay, I can get my first big contract, and then, whatever. I'll figure out how to get the bag next time. When I get a Defensive Player of the Year or 2, they can pay me the max next time. Let's get to business. And like Ryan Zill in the chat says, Mikal has Hooper trash talk, and it's on a different level.
That's not how he said it, though. It's in all caps. He even apologizes.
Mikal has Hooper trash talk. It's on a different level.
Get on my level, son. Yes, sir.
Sorry for the caps, as he says after.
Okay, so that'll kind of lead us into a conversation that has been happening a lot within the Suns space, is the lack of national media attention. And a question was asked today on Suns Twitter: do we actually care about that or not? So I want to get your guys' opinions. Do we care about the national media talking about the Suns or not?
I mean, it's always nice to be loved. It's always nice to be
Why
liked.
did you look at me like,
Yeah.
it's always nice to be loved? Hint, hint.
Because he wants you to love him more, Espo.
Well, all right, maybe I should turn this way. All right. But last year I don't think it bothered me until that shitty Coach of the Year vote came out and Tom Thibodeau won it. Then that's when I was like, okay, that is a complete buy-in from the rest of the media that the Knicks all of a sudden are this world beater because they get more exposure than the Suns because they're in a bigger market, which is trash. And so this year, I kind of tend to agree that like everybody's kind of sleeping on the Suns. They've got the best record or the second best record in basketball. And if they beat the Warriors on Tuesday, I think they'll be tied for the best, right?
I believe they will.
The Warriors have two losses, right?
Yeah, I believe they'll be tied. You're right.
Yeah. So in that respect, if the Suns continue to trend like they are right now, they deserve every bit of attention that they get. Devin Booker should be an all-star undoubtedly this year. My man he was phenomenal in that first quarter. I need a little bit more of that in the fourth quarter, but that's a different conversation. He was phenomenal in the first quarter. He was phenomenal in the game for the most part. CP3 does what he does, but guys like Mikal Bridges, guys like Devin Booker, they deserve the national spotlight because of what they are doing night in and night out in the NBA.
Right.
Fuck the national media. I mean, honestly, quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. And I kind of like this team when they have the edge that they don't believe in us. Like, I don't think they get quote unquote happy on the farm if the national media started giving them praise. But honestly, I like the fact that they can be like, look, even these talking heads that won't shut up want to talk about the Lakers. They want to talk about Steph. They don't want to talk about us. And that's fine. We're going to force our name into their mouths come May and June, just like we did last year. But this time we're going to finish the job.
We're going to pull up that Stephen A. shitty clip from earlier this year when the Suns were 1-3 and he basically had buried them. Like, we're going to pull that up. Matter of fact, we're going to play that on Monday for our pod. And we're going to replay. And maybe we'll tag Stephen A. and be like, hey, you want to redact this or not?
Right.
Because
anything else you'd like to add?
Especially on Tuesday night, if they smash the Warriors, definitely. Like, people that completely overreacted after 4 games and wanted to hit the panic button need to just chill. And guess what? 16 games in a row later, like McCoy said, national media can eat shit.
Well, look, how about their opponent that's coming up on Tuesday, Draymond, when he's on TNT 3 years ago, saying you got to get Devin Booker the hell out of Phoenix. How about you make him eat those words too?
Yep.
Because Devin was loyal. He built something here, and now he's proving everybody wrong. And I like that about this team. I could care less what the national media is going to say at this point because, if they lose on Tuesday, it'll be like, see, they can't win the really tough games, even though they've rattled off 16 straight. And if they win, it'll be like, oh, that's nice, but they got to do it again on Friday against the Warriors. So I actually believe this. Even though it's 17, it's always it's a moving, to mix metaphors, goalpost.
There you go. Thank you.
And so whatever. I don't care what they say. The Suns are proving it night in, night out. They are the best team in the NBA, and they have been consistent in the way they've played since the 8-0 bubble.
Yeah.
They have a 74% win percentage. They've won 90 games and lost 32 since that bubble. This is no fluke. Monty Williams and James Jones have built a franchise that goes out there and takes care of business. And yeah, people say, well, they can't be the best. They lost 4 straight in the finals of the Bucks. Okay, so they had a rough patch at the wrong time. That doesn't mean that they aren't the best team in the NBA and the most consistent. They happen to get Giannis at his 4 best games he's ever played, and they had some missteps. That does not change the fact that right now, 16 straight in a row, this is the best Suns team, or this is the best team in the NBA, and we're at the doorstep of them being the best Suns team we've seen. This is the most complete team playing offense and defense that we have seen in Phoenix.
Preach, Espo, preach.
Right, buddy.
So there you go.
All right, there you go. Also, this other narrative about, remember how you talking about moving goalposts?
Yeah.
And I immediately thought of, okay, well, tonight, healthy KD, health and Harden still got their ass whooped. Like, what else is it going to be?
Kyrie, though.
You know, and then when they, you know, and I already know that when if they beat the Warriors on Tuesday, I said when, because I think it's going to happen. If they beat the Warriors on Tuesday, oh, well, they didn't have Clay yet. Like, shut up.
That's
Like,
great. Fine. Bring Clay out after 2 years of not playing on Christmas, and we'll kick your teeth in then. Like, this Suns team is the kind of team that's just going to come out and take care of business no matter who it is on any night. You roll any guy out, and they're going to show you why they are the best.
I love this, Espo.
It's all
I love
fired
it. It's amazing.
It's like it's like somehow, some way it found a way to like seep out, and then all of a sudden the fucking levees just blew open.
It's
and
10 years of shitty basketball.
I feel
That we're
you.
finally back where we belong.
Absolutely.
This franchise deserves to be at the top of the mountain.
10 years of shitty.
So-
We've had 2 good years though, for the
I
most
know.
part.
But look, you're back. Look, if they had regressed early in the season, everybody would have been like, look, last year was a fluke. It ain't a fluke. The Suns are back. Deal with it.
Okay, for me,
I hear words you said.
I agree with you guys. I don't really care about the national media as far as like the respect factor. It is what it is. I like that the Suns play with a chip on their shoulder. However, on the flip side, the fact that they don't have respect for the Suns or the players on this team the way that they should, and they don't pay attention, directly affects these guys' abilities to get awards that give them the opportunity to make more money in their career that they absolutely deserve to make. So from that standpoint, it pisses me off because it's like you are directly affecting guys who deserve the attention and deserve the love because you are just too lazy? You just don't care enough to actually pay attention to the people who are playing really well.
Well, it's also a bullshit rule. Guys' money should not be tied to reporters randomly voting for awards.
Yes.
And all NBA teams. A guy should not be able to be stopped from reaching his earning potential because Stephen A. Smith doesn't think he's good enough. Or because any guy on a national stage, Bill Simmons, doesn't think he should be voted for first team All-NBA, he should be third team. Guys like us and people like us should not be dictating what they can make because of how well they play. It should be statistical based. It should be based on what they're doing on the court, not media voting.
I absolutely agree. 1,000%. I absolutely agree. Because if that were the case, then everybody in New York and LA would be available for the max and nobody else would be. You know what I'm saying? Like that's basically how it shakes out. You know what I mean? Also, Coach JJM, as a side note, I will not have any Shawshank/Steph Curry slander on this show.
Yeah, no.
Those are my 2 favorite things in the world, and I will not have you bash them.
I agree. No, none of that crap in here. But
I want Steph to lose on Tuesday, but I love Steph.
But look, it's just give me my fast breaks back. Get rid of this bullshit where people can vote and cause guys like Devin Booker not to get his money. It's all crap. So let me sit down and rework the CBA next time. All right? No, I don't want
He
to
brings
chill.
up a good point,
Do you want
though,
some
that
of this right now?
No, I'll get even worse if I have some of that.
he brings up a good point. There should be some sort of stipulation there, and I know there is as far as like who votes and how much the votes count for, because if you look at Devin Booker's career, he is always ranked historically higher from players and coaches than he has media. And there's a reason for that. And it's exactly what we're talking about here. So maybe they need to skew how much those votes count a little bit more towards players and coaches, because players and coaches are paying more attention to everyone in the league than any media member is.
Absolutely.
Just by nature. You are.
It's and I hate to bash media, in this, but I will say this. It's the same thing that, like how Hall of Famers get voted in by the Baseball Writers of America. A lot of them have axes to grind, or they just don't like the way the game's played and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like bullshit. It's all bullshit. And then when you got the national media, like, okay, population-wise, this is what everybody pays attention to. That's not fair to the Midwest cities like OKC or, Phoenix that's, a smaller market compared to LA and New York. Like, it's just not right. And for whatever reason, the NBA chose to go this way. I do think that they should completely kibosh that whole thing and kind of restructure how players get rewarded, because it's just absolutely asinine.
Look, I'll bash media. Because we're part of that. Look, we say stupid shit. We think stupid things. We should not be in control of what an athlete is capable of making. Just like an athlete shouldn't be in control of what I'm capable of making because of some dumb thing I say about it. Neither should have control over the other one. The work should speak for itself.
And with that, we are going to wrap up this conversation because it's been. We're going to wrap up the conversation with one of the best tweets that we saw tonight.
Real quick, Code JJM said the Spurs never got any love either. This is true. However, they played in the finals so many times that it didn't even matter. It just didn't even matter.
Said, however,
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I'm going to steal that. That's funny.
I've always said that.
I guess it's the first time I've
I've never heard you say that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So to wrap up the national media conversation, Shane, let's show the tweet of the night from our very own Tana Hughes. The media, when they realize they have no choice but to talk about how great the Suns are. So timely, so perfect. I love that.
I love it.
All right. We have one additional tweet that we want to share tonight and give a little love to. This one came from Alley Oop, and she said, call him Jack Skellington for now because Book is the nightmare before Christmas. And she immediately responded to herself and said, I apologize for this. I thought it was hilarious.
I got a quote tweeting that from a buddy of mine, Paul from Fanning the Flames, and he goes, Espo's seething somewhere, pissed that he didn't think of this first. So, and he's right. That's my style of joke. So I appreciate it. I wouldn't apologize though. I just own it. So
I thought it was a really funny joke and a really good tweet, especially with the time of year we are in. So
I would have just tweeted JK at the end of it. As Saul would,
you
that was for you, Saul.
absolutely would have said JK.
I was thinking it.
I know you are.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm
not going to say
myself
it.
there. It's true.
Oh my gosh. All right. Shall we go back to the game and just touch on a few more people who performed really well tonight?
Can we get into one thing at the beginning of the game? Speaking of people who performed really, really well, I went book it on first bucket, and I won again. So I think we just need to turn this into, let's just pick somebody as a group each game to roll with for first field goal and call it the first field goal club. And we all try to win some money together moving forward.
I like it. I love that
I've been
idea.
following this trend the whole time. Tonight I went a different way, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's right. You shouldn't have.
It was kind of fun though to see you guys like hoping your pick made the bucket instead of.
I got too greedy. I wanted that plus 1,300.
Another 150. Book was plus 650.
I know. I got
for
greedy.
First bucket. I was like, man,
plus 1,300 is twice as much as plus 650.
Yeah, but if you bet twice as much on book, you're gonna make as much as you did on the plus 1,300. It's just the way the math works.
I like it. Well, if you guys want to get in on what are we calling it?
We're going to call it the first field goal club.
The first field goal club.
It was Crowder's Cash Club, but then we changed it.
We had to change it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of more fun when you have a bunch of different players too, because then you get to mix it up every once in a while.
And the math says Jay's not going to hit every first field goal of every game. So.
But that would have been such a cool shirt.
Oh, and it would have been awesome if he did it every game.
It would be. That would be fun.
We can do first field goal club without getting sued too, because we're not using somebody's name.
It's true.
Well, if you want to get in on the first field goals club, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use the code PHNX when you sign up, because if you use that code, you could win some free bets. So let me tell you about this, right? We all know that NFL season is in full swing, and DraftKings has dropped a no-brainer bet for you guys. So if you place just a $1 bet on any NFL team to score a point, and they do, you're going to win $100 in free bets. It is that simple. DraftKings is safe, reliable, secure. It's an official sports betting partner of the NFL, so you know you're in good hands. Then you get to come hang out with us and take part in a lot of fun things. And if you're already a user of the DraftKings Sportsbook app, keep an eye out for those odds boosts that they send out every once in a while, because those are just basically ways for you to potentially win even more money using the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
I want the DraftKings Sportsbook app to become the official betting partner of Espo and the First Field Goal Club. How do we make that happen?
I don't know, Espo. That
I'll make some calls.
You.
We'll find out, all right? And Ryan, I'll pay your bail money, not Lindsey's. We discussed this last night on there.
Also, thanks to Perplex in the super chat for his $5 donation. Hey, the T-Wolves won 6-7 since playing Phoenix. Also, Iowa Hawkeyes in the Big Ten Championship. Let's go.
Thank you for that super chat.
Congratulations on your Iowa Hawkeyes.
I need to read this disclaimer real quick, you guys. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is 21 and older only, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Anything else fun I miss in the chat?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
Code Jim says NBA League Pass is a scam. Couldn't watch the last 2 games because I'm from New Jersey. I need Lindsey's stream guy.
I'm no comment.
Brian cries.
Espo's dad. That's amazing. Your poor dad is probably so concerned.
No, he gave me such a look last night when I told him about the 2 Crowder bets. Like he wanted to put 1-800-NEXT-STEP on speed dial in my phone. I think.
Also, shout out to Long John Silver, whose girlfriend or fiance apparently does not like the fact that he's watching this show after the game. She's like, haven't you been watching basketball enough? No, it's an experience, lady. Get on board.
Say Long John, bring her in.
Yeah. Come hang out with us, too.
Tell her to jump in the chat. We'd love to hear what's going on here.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
We want the dirt on Long John Silver 85. Come on.
Oh, also, on Tuesday, can I say this?
Sure.
Are you going to let me say this?
I don't know.
We have such a great surprise for everybody on Tuesday.
Oh, yes,
that we just found out about today.
Yes,
I'm not kidding you. This is gold. You guys will love it. It's about our one and only Lindsey Smith, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
Be here.
I cannot believe we're going to do this. It's so awesome.
It is next level. You people won't believe it. It is so
What
spectacular.
is happening?
We may have shirt and posters made out of it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. You forgot about that already?
I totally forgot about it.
Oh, my gosh. I'm telling
it involves book. That's all I'm saying.
All I got to say is
God,
we would not hype it up like this if we didn't mean it was the greatest single thing we have ever found in our lives.
Lindsey Smith.
Not an overstatement.
Lindsey Smith.
I feel like you guys are hyping this up
amazing.
way too much.
Whoever gets this, we're going to give this thing away.
You
and I
guys are
promise
way
you,
too
you guys,
only hyping it up.
whoever gets this will love this for life.
Absolutely not.
Fuck no,
FOH.
Perplex. Come on.
Oh,
bro.
my God.
No.
Perplex should get bounced for that
No,
one.
Perplex. No.
And it
To the dive bar, Perplex.
Well, when it's here, it's a PH, not an F in that, all right?
Okay.
No, it's going to be awesome.
Let's get back on track and talk about a few other players in tonight's game, because it's 16 straight, you guys. We're going to talk a little bit more about it.
16 straight.
So let's start off with a highlight that we have of Cam Johnson, because we've been waiting for one of these.
Oh, yeah.
So
And we're waiting a little bit longer.
Tell us what we're watching.
Well, Mikal had another great defensive play, and then he smartly slowed down, handed it off to my man.
But the best part is that was pretty awesome. He comes down the lane and he basically forces both who we got here. It's KD and one other defender to bite on him, and then he tosses it back to Cam for that dunk. That play is as much on Mikal as it is Cam, but then Cam finishes the deal. That was the kind of dunk we saw in the finals from Cam.
Yep.
Cam is starting to pick it up.
He is.
And starting to roll a little bit. I think he had 8 tonight on the game, but he's starting to shoot efficient again. He's aggressive. I liked his defense on KD. People may not agree with me on that, but I liked that he was not afraid to body up KD, to go at him, to play hard defense. And, he got a few fouls, but you got to expect that when you're playing one of the best in the game.
The thing that you love to see from Mikal to Cam is that there's not a huge drop-off. There's a little bit of a drop-off, but defensively, Offensively, there's a little bit of a drop off just because Cam's still trying to get into the flow of things, but it's not so significant to where you feel like you're losing something out there. So it's great. I love how those two guys have been playing. It's beautiful basketball. That is beautiful basketball. Doing it at the defensive end and then being unselfish enough on the offensive end to reward your teammate who's running and trailing right behind you. That's beautiful basketball.
I like Coach Jim in the chat saying, I figured out Cam's ceiling. It's Danny Granger. And I actually think that's not a bad comp. He's a little smaller than Danny, but I think you could see solid defense, guy who can hit from three, can have some of those nice slashing buckets. He probably won't be as prolific as a scorer as Danny Granger was at any point or at his apex, but I kind of like that comp.
All right.
Chris, no, we didn't sell Lindsey's other beanie.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nobody has bought $2,000 worth of merch from the locker, which I don't know if Saul, you heard that, but if somebody buys $2,000 worth of merch from the locker,
they can get her beanie.
They get her beanie.
Oh, that's a deal right there.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
It's not bad.
It's not a deal. Y'all tripping.
Lindsey, I can buy you another one. Jesus, just let it go.
Fabio, former Suns legend Danny Granger. Fun fact, I have a game-worn jersey from Danny Granger at home in the closet.
That doesn't surprise me at all. To be honest with you, it does not surprise me
I have the
at all.
weirdest collection of that crap for sure.
I believe that. All right, another player that I would like to highlight tonight is JaVale McGee. So he got his third double-double of the season tonight, playing just 16 minutes. So he's 10 points, 10 rebounds. And the fact that he was able to put his imprint on this game in such a way, being questionable coming in tonight's game because he was having issues with his ankle, that's impressive.
He was phenomenal.
He did a
16.
great job.
Again, I got to go back to the very beginning of this show when I talked about DA. DA needs to look at JaVale and his effort and understand that that's what you need to bring to the table when you're playing a team like the Nets. And on Tuesday, you damn well better bring it. Otherwise, Draymond Green is going to give you the business, mostly this, but he's still going to make you look like an ass because if you don't come ready to play against the Warriors, they will make you look stupid. And so JaVale did everything he could possibly do tonight to keep the Suns afloat when he was in there. Had some phenomenal effort buckets, like the one where he missed like 3 or 4 literally right at the rim. But it didn't matter because he was right there, and he out-rebounded that ball with like 3 guys around him.
It was 4 nets.
4 guys.
There
Jesus.
were 4 nets all around him. He was the only Sun there. Look, and somebody on Twitter said we don't give JaVale enough praise on this show because when you're watching it feels like this massive roller coaster, and you look down and you're like, that's an impactful night. 10 and 10 is huge, but his energy and what he's brought to the bench, and knowing that you have that behind DeAndre Ayton at center is huge, and it's changed the complexion of this Suns team. So JaVale McGee deserves all the credit in the world for being an essential part of this 16-game win streak. And you look at it and you go, you have that kind of a guy last year in the playoffs? We're probably talking about a Larry O'Brien trophy in that arena rather than not. So
I still can't even get over the fact that the Nuggets didn't even use him. Like I don't even I understand Jokic is Jokic, but man, how the hell they didn't use that guy at all? At all. Not even for 10 minutes. He did this. He had a double-double in 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. Nope. That's why you got your ass swept, Denver.
I love JaVale because I feel like every night there's something that he does that you're like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like, how are you still doing that this many years into the league?
Because he just hustles. Like, he just outworks guys. He goes out there and he just says, all right, I still got athleticism. I'm going to jump higher than you. I'm going to put in more effort than you. I'm going to go out there in my 16 minutes and I'm going to leave it all on the floor. By the way, I know why they didn't use JaVale in Denver.
Why?
Because Jamal Murray was hurt. So
I walked right into that one.
You did. That's all right, though. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like I walked right into the bat wing. That's a waiting reference.
You did. I didn't get that one.
Okay,
Sorry, but you did walk right into
Waiting's
it.
a good movie. Underrated Ryan Reynolds movie.
All right, gentlemen. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or highlight from tonight's game?
I keep pointing it out. And I know down the Murray, down the stretch, it got a little dicey there. But I would like to say this: I just feel so confident and so comfortable having Devin Booker and Chris Paul in the backcourt. I say it over and over again. They just make things a little easier and a little bit less stressful. I know we don't feel like it all the time because we have some close games or whatever, but I just always feel like when it comes down to it, they're gonna make the right decisions and the right plays. And I think Devin Booker tonight as a playmaker also, we got to give him credit for this. He had some great passes and some great decisions that led to some wide open buckets for his teammates. I know we love to focus on his scoring, but he is showing his playmaking ability more and more every single game, and I love that from him.
This is the most confident I've ever felt about a Suns team, and that's regardless of what happens on Tuesday, whatever. Looking at this, what they've done in this stretch, and just the amazing way that they've played basketball. I laugh at the fact that there was even a panic button in this room at any point when they were 1-3. And look, we're in for a lot of fun this year, and that's good because we got to do a lot more of these. So I'd rather have it be fun than
absolutely
some of the other crap we've dealt with over the years.
We got some big time matchups with the Warriors coming up. 2 in the next 3 games. We're gonna learn a lot about what this team, because everybody's talking about the Warriors are most likely that team to battle the Suns out west so far, because everybody else is kind of missing 1 or 2 key pieces. I tend to believe that, and I think Tuesday is going to go a long way in determining what the outlook of this season really is going to be, and I'm just so fucking hyped already for this game. I can't wait.
Okay, I want to address one comment in the chat. So Code JJM, we've talked about this before. He said, if we weren't Suns fans, I think we would hate our fan base. We talk a lot of crap.
Good.
So, but I don't think we do.
We do.
Oh, we do.
Okay,
we
maybe
do.
I'm just
we do.
biased
Yeah.
then.
But years and years.
You have the censor on your Twitter.
Maybe.
That's why.
I don't think so.
Look, years and years of crap and bad luck and everything. You know what? Screw it. Go out there, have fun, talk trash, enjoy it. What do we care if other fan bases don't like us? Right? It doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't
have
matter.
fun with it. That's what this is all about.
Listen, I've met a lot of other fan bases, or I've come across them. Everybody's awful. Everybody's awful. When they start winning, they don't shut up either. We're in this zone right now where we actually get to, coop the benefits of it. So I like it. I don't care.
Plus,
Lakers fans are the fucking worst.
For over
Like,
a decade, so.
Lakers fans are awful. Clippers fans were in our mentions all of the playoffs last year, talking about if they had Kawhi. Like, Nuggets fans can't let go of Jamal Murray, and they're still in our mentions. Like, dude, everybody, shut the hell up. Like, you lost.
Let us have our moments.
Wrap it up.
Leave us alone.
It's over.
You think we're annoying now? Just wait if we actually win a title in Phoenix. This fan base, the Suns fan base, will never shut up because we've waited 53 years for this.
It's basically what I've been saying the entire time about U of A football. If we ever won a Rose Bowl, God help you, Sun Devils, you'll never ever hear me stop. But I can't.
We'll just wait and see
up.
if that happens or not.
I take our ass whooping and we just move on.
I heard a yell from down. I wonder if the Coyotes just did something.
No, they didn't, because I've been checking.
No, they lost 3-2.
I had the under,
Leah's just frustrated down in the other room. Then.
Absolutely. All right. Well, before we tap out for the evening, just want to remind you guys that gophnx.com is where all of our content lives. We've got extra stuff there for you guys. Obviously, Gerald's sweet articles are available there. But in addition to that, want to remind you that we have really cool merch that you can get for some good deals, I believe, right now still, right?
We have Cyber Weekend going on right now. 50% off on items in the store. Check it out. If you're still wondering whether or not to become a member, now's a great time. $60 and you get 2 free shirts. I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you want to become a member, now's the best time to do it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Join us. Come be part of the family. This is where you want to be.
Be like Chris in the chat.
Chris Melton.
Right? Chris. She's
awesome.
They bought merch and gift cards.
Look, Chris is next level.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be like Chris, you got a lot of work to do. But
you gotta keep up.
we'd be happy to have you reach Chris's level too.
Also, like if you buy a shirt or you buy the merch, hit us up on Twitter because we'll give you another 10% off code. And you can buy some more merch.
Nice.
Like this, it's it's reciprocal. Reciprocal. There you go. I couldn't
Got
find
you
the
covered
word.
there.
I was thinking recycle.
Perplex, those sunset shirts are coming soon. They're coming from the printer, so we're working on them.
their way.
They'll get you.
And
soon.
also, if you have shirt ideas, I saw somebody also talk about we should have a Mikal shirt. Hey, throw them in the chat. We love to hear the ideas because once when we come up with something and we want to put something together, we want to make sure that it's going to pop off. And we love the feedback we get from you guys for sure.
Hit it in the Discord too. You
Yes.
can hit us up there with any ideas that you have as well. I still want sweet shirt. I think that would be funny. But,
That's perfect for you, though.
Still
That is
waiting on
perfect
my
for
own
you.
shirt.
Yeah, we should get that.
All
However,
right, so just a
Yeah,
reminder, the next Suns game is Tuesday, so we will be here at 7 for a pregame show, and then right again.
7:30.
No,
Yeah.
what?
It's an 8 o'clock
Oh
game.
shoot!
Yeah.
It is an 8 o'clock.
Lindsay,
That
come
math
on.
is tough, but
Yeah,
yes.
it's hard.
Ay vey. Okay, 7:30 pregame, 8 p.m. tip-off, and then after the final buzzer, we'll be back here. But on Monday, we'll have an audio-only episode for you guys, so you can find that wherever you listen to your podcast, so tune in there, and then we'll see you live here again on Tuesday. And then we'll give you the rest of the week later. But I think you guys have pretty much caught on to our schedule during the season anyway, but always want to remind you guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Lindsey Smith AZ. You can follow Saul on Twitter at Saul_Bookman. And you can follow Espo on Twitter at Espo.
Can I say the underscores there because we need that much space to get through the Steph Curry screens?
Hey now. Yes, you can say that.
There we go. All right.
It's your underscore. You say what you want.
There you go.
And with that, Espo, take us home.
Ahoy, hoy.